Hello and welcome to Via Protectorate. This is the quarterfinals of the Immortals trophy, and some very good teams. The first place team from the group is Deathly's Rage. They got Gray's Chariot here playing as Seraphim, going first land, second air. On his team he does have Black Death, going first land with UEF. On the left side, and then we do have the SpiderPigs on the right, with Voodoo playing UEF, as well as Coacher. So a bit of Germany versus United States action. We already had a couple games like that. But let's see what happens in this one. Surprisingly, both players on the right side, the SpiderPigs going with UEF. Of course, two players who may be familiar with, some of the tournament organizers. Big thanks for them for making this thing possible. And also with this map, it's one map I feel like has been a bit underplayed. On Forge Alliance Forever, it was in the ranked pool for GPG.net. Some excellent games. One of those, Gray's Chariot versus Zoc. Of course, Gray's Chariot playing here. They played Zoc, I believe, UEF versus Cybern, and one of the most epic games. You can see it on this channel if you just search for one of the most viewed videos on the channel. So Chariot definitely not a newbie on this one or on any map. He will be facing Voodoo, of course, who should pose a good enough challenge. And I'll play these in pretty slow speed. Of course, the format here is a best of 3, in case this is your first game watching this, the Immortals trophy. First game is a 2v2, and then it's to complete the best of 3s, it's 2 1v1s, where the losing team chooses who plays who. And looking here a little past minute 2, Black Death had a bunch of mech marines running in. He's going to be directly in between both Voodoo and Kosher, looking for any expanding engineers, but all he's going to find is perhaps some strikers from Voodoo. On the other side, you see a very similar team from Kosher. See, it's a Snoop together with 2 mech marines. Snoop, very nice radar range, plus a really nice gun at 2 damage per shot. Got a nice range. Can swing some of these light assault bots. Looks like this team has been split. And did I miss a battle? What happened to all those pink? I must have missed some fighting, but we do see some tanks here from Gray's Chariot. Very aggressive units. You can see this is where Gray's Chariot is starting. And some scouting now from Voodoo. He's got an eye on this team, which he's got to take care of. Actually, no. There was no fighting that I missed. These units were given over to Gray's Chariot. So Gray's Chariot has a UEF Seraphim mixed force. It's going to be taking on this force from Voodoo, which has got a factory and a couple strikers. Some of the first kills of the game. And we do see numbers for Gray's Chariot. Strikers, actually, 1 striker here with 3 kills. Gets 4 at the end, but eventually just too much. We do see now Kocher is going to try to clean up the rest of those tanks, and he will be able to do so. So, actually, this is pretty lucky from Gray's Chariot. He will take out a very valuable engineer from Kocher. So a bit of a lapse there from these tanks, did not save their engineer. So all that aggression from Kocher and Black Death have paid off. Here comes a bomber now from Black Death. Gonna look for any engineers working on stuff. This is 3 engineers in a row. Excellent bomb. So far, we do see early raiding victories. We do see here that Kocher has taken out an engineer, so he's had some success as well. But having an engineer here in between the bases for the left side team definitely advantage. A lot of mask strikers, and all over this map, a lot of reclaim. It looks like this tank here with 4 kills, the one that killed the engineer, is going to get here in the back. It is being chased by a couple of tanks from Kocher. Kocher now, compared to Black Death, definitely a lot more aggressive with the ACU. Kocher is going to try to get a point defense, secure the area. Bit of air fighting up on top. On the bottom, we're going to see Gray's Chariot and Voodoo meet each other. Gray's Chariot with a point defense, definitely a good place to retreat to. We should see some artillery for Voodoo coming out. So far, the ACU is just shooting each other. We can see land spam very similar for both players, perhaps a little more for Voodoo. Up on top, we are now seeing Kocher completely dominate the middle. And still, this is the effect of that 1 tank. 2 mask extractors unclaimed for for the right side team for the SpiderPigs. But besides that great bomb for Black Death, looks like he has lost a bit of map control against Kocher. Kocher also a couple of really nice tanks. Looks like they denied a factory, but no micro. Looks like it's a mask extractor. Good work from this tank from Kocher. So Kocher doing great work, and once again Grace Chariot just getting in between the two SpiderPigs. Once again will be chased. Another engineer just got here from Kocher, will die just like the predecessor, and there will be big losses once again for the SpiderPigs. And that tank, that's the 4-kill tank from the very beginning of the game, still alive. Another bomber coming out for Black Death. Kills a raider, very important raider. Kocher should be able to rebuild it, and here comes the assault for Black Death. Doesn't look like either ACU has any upgrades. Pretty similar numbers, and of course Kocher does have a point defense to retreat to. But so far, Grace Chariot just going straight through the side here with multiple forces. About 7 to 8 tanks each, doing great damage to Voodoo. And in the middle, very even battle. Voodoo not getting the gun. Battle between Black Death and Kocher. Quite even. I might actually have to use the split screen here. Keep an eye on both battles. Voodoo should be getting his gun shortly. And once he does it, that should give him a pretty big advantage. Meanwhile, we see Grace Chariot causing all kinds of problems. Kocher and Black Death. Kocher holds on to his position. A point defense, very valuable. Meanwhile, we do see SpiderPigs chasing this team from Grace Chariot, which is just doing whatever it wants. And now Voodoo with the gun will make progress. See a complete retreat from Grace Chariot. He realizes he will not be able to hold on. Looks like he'll lose a couple factories and a point defense and mask extractors. And this is something very important. We do see Grace Chariot is stealing free mass from the middle. Looks like he broke through a couple civilian point defenses. Good work from Grace Chariot. Free reclaim, might as well have it. So SpiderPigs in the individual fights here in the middle, both getting the victories. But in terms of rating, Grace Chariot has been by far the best player. Grace Chariot also getting free mass in the middle. Black Death 14 kills, Kocher 15. Very even battle, but the point defense for Kocher has been taken out. Looks like it's just 100% Tech 1 land spam. Haven't seen too much Tech. Oh no, Tech 2 land now from Kocher. Let's see if that makes a difference. Meanwhile, the gun for Voodoo. And Voodoo actually running out of units here. He does have the gun. It'll be tragic for him to... Oh, this is... looks like Voodoo may have overestimated what he's had. He's got 20 kills and the gun. In a sea of Seraphim, he's got to get some good overcharges. Yeah, he just read my mind there. 33 kills. He needs to get 40 as soon as possible. He needs a couple more good ones. Another really good one there, 40 kills. But does he have enough? Some great ACU micro. 41 kills, but just not enough units in support for this ACU. Grace Chariot now sensing that he will go in for the kill. And this battle looks like out of nowhere. Voodoo. Well, is Voodoo going to survive? He might actually survive this. Doesn't look like he's really microing his tanks well, but looks like the gun has saved Voodoo's life. And that was pretty amazing there, and long stream of Tech 1 is going to save Voodoo. I did think for a second that game was over. And meanwhile, a big air fight that Voodoo is going to win. So Voodoo has just won air control. And this force from Grace Chariot, no respect. These are big veterans. They're still running around killing things. Quite ridiculous, and looks like a great move for Voodoo. He has retreated with his ACU, but won a big fight. Grace Chariot's ACU pretty low on health. Engineers for Voodoo coming in. We're going to clean up on free mass. Doesn't look like things have really changed between Kocher and Black Death. We do see Tech 2 from both players. Mongoose from Black Death, but some pillars from Kocher. Appears that Black Death is trying to find a different route. Tech 2 guntrips from Kocher are going to get caught without any air protection by Black Death's air. And this force of excellent units here So many great veterans from Grace Chariot still fighting, going to be taking out Mask Ejector, and that was one of the original tanks still alive, 4 kills. Tech 2 land for Voodoo coming in, and looks like now Voodoo is going to help out his ally. He's going to get air control above Coacher's Tech 2 air factory, which is still producing gunships, and gunships can be very nice on this map. Meanwhile, we do see some engineers still in the middle for Grace Chariot. He still has 3 Mask Ejectors that he can take. And it actually looks like Grace Chariot used the transport to get in here with those engineers. All the point defenses are still alive for civs, so they're kind of protected there. And here's a Mongoose from Black Death, killing once again. This has been the weakest point for the SpiderPigs. And unbelievably, this team is it's finally going to meet its death against the Tech 2 of Coacher, but definitely worth their mass. Those units, some Tech 2 for Black Death getting some upgrades. Villa's trying to get by some Mongoose. Mongoose getting a little too close. Perhaps a little too adventurous for Coacher. He's definitely moving in. Now if Coacher can run away from this force from Black Death, he will cause a lot of damage. On the bottom here, significant force from Voodoo. Voodoo getting Tech 2. Meanwhile, Grace Chariot has retreated, spamming Ilshevas. Got multiple Tech to power and cruise missiles. Gonna try to use the fact that UEF have really bad TMD, perhaps. It'll be interesting. Looks like he's actually making multiple, maybe going for a snipe. So, despite this really weak point for SpiderPigs, they are beginning to win map control. You can see both Voodoo and Coacher making significant progress, and now with Tech to air for Coacher, he's getting complete control. And this team of blue now moving by this Mongoose. A lot of engineers for Grace Chariot here, very vulnerable. And a push from Voodoo at the same time. But the Ilshevas, of course, something to be reckoned with until UEF gets some shields. The Ilshevas are going to dominate. And this team of 6 Ilshevas, something to respect if you're Voodoo. Voodoo now going to change his attack. He's probably going to lose some units on this point defense unless he micros through it. And gunships now for Black Death. There used to be a lot more engineers for Grace Chariot. Good attack from Coacher. Love to see him to take out those gunships. No reason to lose good units like this. Looks like the point defense is dead, and some Tech 2 for Voodoo sneaking in. Meanwhile, Tech 2 versus Tech 1, Black Death with some Tech 2 point defenses. He's going to try to recover this middle point. And here we see the interceptors from Coacher going to try to save his units. But this game has definitely swung in the SpiderPigs' favor. Here come a whole bunch of gunships. You got to remember, Grace Chariot and Black Death absolutely dominated their group. They went 3-0. SpiderPigs did have a bit of trouble, but here SpiderPigs really showing that they're definitely as good, if not better, as Deathly's Rage. And here come the gunships from Voodoo. He's going directly after the Mask Ejectors of Grace Chariot. Grace Chariot is absolutely dominated. But here come some cruise missiles. Is that a snipe attempt? Appears that it was, but it's a miss. Grace Chariot now losing multiple Mask Ejectors. Total air domination. And gunships from Coacher as well. So Coacher and Voodoo nearly mirror images of each other. This hero tank from Grace Chariot is still alive, but not much it can do. And we are seeing mirror image domination. And it does look like the SpiderPigs are going to take the 1-0 lead in this quarterfinal. Of course, whoever loses this is out of the tourney. Whoever moves on is going to the semifinal, where they'll meet somebody very good. Black Death nearly finished. Looks like Black Death is going to die first. Grace Chariot a little more secure. Still has some cruise missiles, so he might hope for a snipe, but in terms of map control and air control, he's absolutely been dominated by Voodoo. Excellent play from the German team, the SpiderPigs. Let's see how long this continues. We do see now the gunships from Kocher moving in. They're going to try to help out. And this is basically all that Grace Jarrett has. Shield, Tech 2 power, a Tech 2 factory, and a whole bunch of cruise missiles. I'll actually speed this up. So now it's up to Black Death and Grace Jarrett to choose the next game. And they're actually going to choose, I haven't actually seen any of the games, but I know that they're going to choose Grace Jarrett versus Voodoo. And there, Grace Jarrett just kills himself to make this a little shorter. So this has been game 1 taken by the SpiderPigs. SpiderPigs are 1 game away from going into the semifinals, and Grace Jarrett has to win to keep his team alive, because we have just seen great performance by the SpiderPigs on Via Protectorate. But this is a completely different map. This used to be on the rank ladder. Was one of the more exciting maps, but some people don't like it, I think. Of course, one thing to note, a whole bunch of rocks near your starting position, so you can really do a lot of different starting builds. For example, you can see here Voodoo neglecting mass extractors completely with his ACU, just going with second air with just P-gens and 2 factories. These early engineers are going to grab those mass. See Grace Jarrett doing nearly identical thing, but most likely will go second air as well. And looking at the map, it's basically civilians in the middle, some point defenses, a little bit of mass, usually neglected. Becomes important later on in the game. On 2 side bases, this is sometimes played 2v2 or a free-for-all. Mass extractor is very much spread out, and of course 2 hills. These choke points become critical. On one side it's just a single choke point, actually it's 4, but this one's usually the one that you sneak into through the back. Here the fighting is a little different, 2 pretty direct choke points to get up on top, some cliffs, put some point defenses on these cliffs, cruise missiles, mobile missile launchers, things like that usually become very important. Also early bombers in this game, absolutely devastating. One of the builds you can do is just all out air early on with bombers, completely deny all expansion to the other player, but it doesn't look like either player here is doing that. But here comes Voodoo, second air. He's going to finish it at 221 and interceptor first, so looks like third land as well. Looks like first 2 land from Grace Jarrett, going for third. So that interceptor from Voodoo, very defensive, perhaps thinking that a gesture is a possibility. Grace Jarrett going with Cybern. And we might see some early fighting here. A couple strikers from Voodoo, but looks like Manti are going to have numbers. Grace Jarrett realizing this moves in, 3 versus 2. You can see some great micro on the Manti. Manti, when they get close, they have really high fire rate, so they'll dominate when they have numbers. And there goes an interceptor from Voodoo, but Voodoo has seen there is no air factories, so you can go ahead and make bombers. Here comes a bomber from Voodoo. The Manti are going to continue their assault, and this 3 Manti are going to be a force to reckon with for Voodoo. Voodoo is going to choose to go on the right side, the Grace Jarrett's ACU going on the left, so the ACUs are not going to see each other for a while. So far those Manti have been absolutely devastating. Bomber for Voodoo, still no kills. Looking for that expanding engineer, but that's a lot of flak. It's not where you want to fly if you're Voodoo. Able to get that bomb off. Oh, just barely doesn't kill that engineer. More interceptors for Voodoo, and another bomber on the other side. Grace Jarrett's ACU being pretty aggressive. Can try to get a very advanced mass extractor. I don't know if he thinks he can hold on to that. Voodoo now moving in, and these are Manti. It's a sign of a great player. He's actually saved him, pulled him back. But now bombers from Voodoo. Great bomber, takes out 2 engineers, but a flak is completed. And that should make this basically a no-fly zone for Voodoo. This has been a nice contrast, all-out land versus air, and both players having success. But it's really the bombing fun should be over for Voodoo unless he just wants to attack the sides. Grace Chariot's ACU going directly into Voodoo's base. Voodoo's going to try to get a point defense up. It'll be critical for him to get this up. Grace Chariot is going to put him in a lot of danger. And as soon as Grace Chariot sees that, he will start attacking. He's got to kill his engineers, and it looks like he'll definitely kill that in time. Well, actually, no, he's not going to retreat. He has to kill that engineer, and he does just in time. And this is all kinds of problems now for Voodoo. Voodoo, pretty good position, grabbing quite a bit of the map with his ACU. But his main base is under a major assault. Here comes a point defense for Voodoo. That should protect quite a bit of it, but all this power is exposed. And the ACU this early in the game is a unit that you really need something like 20 plus tanks to deal with, or a whole bunch of point defenses. And having your power exposed like this, Voodoo is in quite a bit of trouble. Also, this is very secure. And tech to land from a Grace Chariot. This is pretty amazing. And it looks like Voodoo with a little less aggressive move. We can see how Grace Chariot completely passed up these mass extractors, left him for his engineers, while Voodoo built with his ACU. Voodoo now moving in, but he's going to face Tech 2, which is a lot less than what Grace Chariot is going to have to deal with. You can see Grace Chariot actually reclaimed a couple of units of multiple Tech 1 point defenses. So Voodoo has secured a big chunk of his base, but he's being denied a lot of mass. Looks like Voodoo is now going to be retreating. He did face this Tech 2 point defense, as well as some Tech 1, so this is much more secure now for Grace Chariot. And now we are seeing Cybern, you can say, dominating now against Voodoo. All these bombers were very well defended by Grace Chariot. He did lose a couple engineers, but in terms of position of his ACU and the aggression, he's definitely been the better player. And Grace Chariot will start building a base on Voodoo's land. Voodoo once again is going to come in, but faced with way too many point defenses, and of course now bringing artillery might not be good enough because of the Tech 2 point defense. Voodoo trying to get the point defense to shoot his ACU while the arty comes in to kill it. That was very hopeful. The bomber comes in for some scouting, dies. Chariot being bombed. Both arty and bombers will retreat, won't be able to hold on, but he's got Tech 2 here with some rhinos. Surprised he doesn't have any mobile missile launchers or artillery. Will be very nice against this Tech 1 point defense. Grace Chariot retreats. So Voodoo still staying strong. He is out-teched, and in terms of map control, there is a slight advantage for Grace Chariot. And now Grace Chariot is going to move out with some Tech 2 through the top. We do see Voodoo retreating all the way back to his base, and this could be a mistake. This Tech 1 force won't be able to deal with the Tech 2 of Grace Chariot with the help of the ACU. And Grace Chariot, realizing this immediately, is going to move in. Tech 1 from Voodoo moves in, and it's going to just get shredded by the wingers. And now map control firmly in control of Grace Chariot. We already have some engineers moving down. Bombers for Voodoo are flying above this force, but really don't have the firepower to do too much about it. Voodoo is now going to march back, and that's really a great play from Grace Chariot, forcing the other ACU to basically second guess, run around back and forth with only 3 kills, not doing too much. Or Grace Chariot, 22 kills, so just sitting pretty safely. Voodoo's main base once again is under assault. Tech 2 land now for Voodoo as well. Voodoo once again making his way in the other direction. Grace Chariot makes another assault. Grace Chariot feels like he's got completely in control of his game. He'll attack when he can, try to avoid the fights that he doesn't want, but keep map control. See if he decides to go with more teching. He's got multiple air factories, perhaps take air control. And now seems to be retreating against Voodoo's assault. Grace Chariot making point defenses for safety. It's a very safe play from Grace Chariot. Tech 2 force on the other side moving in once again. Now, it could be outnumbered a little bit. With a little bit of micro, those Wangers are going to get a lot of kills. It's going to be huge veterans. As long as they avoid the shots, the artillery shots from Voodoo's Tech Wumpets. Here comes some pillars. Still big problems for Voodoo. Cruise missiles. See what those attack looks like. The Tech 2 factory is going to be the target. Voodoo has just been denied the ability to create Tech 2. Great piece of work from Crazy Chariot, and that must be very demoralizing for Voodoo, given that he does not have a Tech 2 engineer, so every single unit that he has is absolutely at the mercy of Crazy Chariot's cruise missiles. And that's when you fall behind. And you fall behind in terms of tech. And these Wangers have just been absolutely brutal. See, there used to be a force here for Voodoo, but it's gone. See a lot of dead units. And Voodoo once again now with 4 kills. Okay, now Voodoo just going straight for Tech 2. He's going to go for gunships. He has cancelled all of his land production. He's going for the victory. It'll be very difficult to win with Tech 2 air, given that there should be some Tech 2 flag. I did see some Tech 2 flag on the other side. Voodoo now with an assault. He is going straight for Tech 2 gunships. He's now going to try to get some TMD. Doesn't have time for TMD. Now Crazy Chariot retreats even further. Gunship standing by. Once again, the Wangers for Cybern plus the Rhinos have been absolutely dominant. Voodoo is now basically all alone. More cruise missiles coming in. There goes Tech 2 factory. Voodoo does not have any factories at minute 14. And he has just self-destructed. GG. Excellent play for Crazy Chariot to tie up this quarterfinal at 1-1, and it'll be up to Coacher and Black Death to decide who goes into the semifinal. Voodoo now dead, minute 14. We're now in the third and final game of this quarterfinal. It's tied 1-1. Black Death versus Coacher, UEF versus Cybern to decide who makes it into the semis. Coacher going from the top, representing SpiderPigs. We did see his ally Voodoo get absolutely dominated by Crazy Chariot, which was a UEF versus Cybern fight. It's second air for Coacher, very similar to what Voodoo did, third land. Black Death, not really clear what he's going to do, but once again it looks like both players with the ACU avoiding the mass ejectors, given all these rocks that are scattered around. So the last quarterfinal that hasn't been played yet is Tag versus YouTube Stars. Hopefully that gets played sometime soon. Of course, it's 2 players from Gibraltar. Tag team versus some Americans, TJ from California. It's very difficult to get those 2 teams to agree on time. But hopefully they skip some school, some weight training, make some time for this game. Here comes the early Mech Marine from Coacher. It's going to be spotted by a scout from Black Death. Engineer for Coacher grabbing some mass. And now scout from Coacher. Mech Marine looking to kill an engineer, but we see an engineer, no engineer going in that direction. Black Death with a good scout. He's also got a scout going in that direction. You might see the first kill of the game. Goes to Coacher's Mech Marine, who's now going in pretty aggressively. Coacher going in very aggressive with those Mech Marines. First to land from Black Death. Black Death actually going for early anti-air turret, which is surprising given that there's absolutely no air from Coacher. Very strange. So Black Death anticipating air. He's not going to get it. We did see Coacher build the air factory and then cancel it. Black Death now moving out to the right side. Here we got a fight where Mantis kills a Mech Marine. Usually fight goes in that direction, but sometimes Mech-Marine gets the kill. Third land coming up for Black Death. We're seeing fourth and fifth land for Kocher. So Kocher going for a massive land spam, it seems. He's got one engineer on power. His ACU is still sitting home. That's one big difference. Black Death moving out. Gonna try to play some defense against some strikers. Looks like some of these strikers are gonna try to sneak by. One of them does. Let's see what Kocher's ACU decides to do. He knows where Black Death is. He may choose to either face him ACU versus ACU or take the other side of the map. One striker for Kocher here with 2 kills, avoids the ACU. Looks like moving in toward the base, but now will be spotted. Good placement on a raider from Black Death. Black Death meanwhile doing some good raiding, kills an engineer that was expanding. And it does appear that Kocher is going to move to the right side to meet Black Death, perhaps anticipating that his EEF forces Tech 1 stronger health, stronger ACU in a 1v1 battle might attempt to overwhelm the Cybern. But definite map control advantage enough for Black Death. Many more mask extractors, and this is some good raids from these Manta for Black Death. And this Manta's got all the way into the back, attacking the power storage. Not something you want to lose. Looks like it's killed just in time. Perhaps killing the engineers would have been better. But even though Kocher has more land factories, and Tech 2 land from Black Death, once again we see Cybern going with a very quick Tech 2 land. And now 4th air. And that's really going to deny a lot of the advantages that EEF might have, unless they go Tech 2 land themselves. We did see how good those Wangers were together with Rhinos in the previous game against Voodoo. But here, of course, Cybern with a little quicker. We've seen the quicker Manti having huge advantage with numbers. Of course, they always get the kills. Good work from Black Death getting behind Kocher's ACU. Kocher taking back some land. Actually, Kocher making good progress on both sides. Very similar numbers, so Black Death retreats. Not too many engineers expanding on the left side though, and these Manta just running wild. They've cut Kocher off away from his base. Kocher getting even more land factories. These Manta, just adventurous creatures, are going to avoid all these tanks, move in. Nice scout from Black Death, give recon. Tell these Manta where to go. See the response from Kocher. And it just seems Manta holding their own. Eventually should die. Kocher with a good move with ACU, Cybern having to respect, but here come the hoplites. Also some Tech 2 engineers. That's going to be problems for Kocher. He'll be absolutely outranged. Also hoplites on the other side, and this is going to be absolutely dominant from Black Death. Black Death should dominate the left side. We haven't seen too much teching at all from Kocher. Now we're going to see Tech 2 versus Tech 1 dominate. Kocher now retreats. Black Death, Tech 1 point defense. Looks like keeping his hoplites back, building up a complete retreat from Black Death. And this scout from Black Death has just been beautiful. Tell him everything that he could possibly want to know. Here comes an interceptor. Kocher pushes with his Tech 1 force. Hoplites kiting. There's a huge kill on civilians there from that hoplite. On the other side, we're going to see some domination from Cybern. Should be a lot closer. Kocher actually retreating. Tech 2 engineers, cruise missile launchers from Black Death. 900 mass invested. Do we see some Tech 2? No, just Tech 1 spam. Black Death with perfect unit control so far with the Cybern forces. Operating 2 Tech 2 forces. Does whatever he wants. He's going to get an engineer to even out the map control. Kocher retreats. Black Death leads with the ACU. And now map control is going to start shifting in Black Death favor. All these units, you have nothing they can do against the hoplite. Same story on the other side. And Cybern has been called a weak faction, but don't look like a weak faction in this one. They got the range. Black Death will now methodically take the mask ejectors. Coach or perhaps will push back. Well, now he's going to retreat once again. And of course, we got to remember, whoever loses this game is out of the tourney. It's a lot of pressure now on Coacher to think of something. And Black Death absolutely in control. Coacher losing a lot of health on his ACU. A couple good overcharges. Good. That was a good overcharge. Good shifting. Coacher thinking perhaps of a push. But with ACU rapidly losing health, perhaps that's a mistake. And now Coacher forced to push quite a few units against this force. 16 kills on Coacher. This Tech 1 force is going to be outgunned, especially with Black Death ACU in the mix. On the other side, a couple hoplites holding down. We already got 20 kills between those two. So it was a good push there from Coacher, but his ACU just not enough health. And a Tech 2 force from Black Death. So we saw last game Crazy Chariot go with Wangers and Rhinos with Cybern. I didn't see a single hoplite from him, and in this one, we've seen here we do see some Rhinos now from Black Death coming out. Coacher realizing he's been absolutely dominated. Throws in the towel after 11 minutes, and Deathly's Rage move on. Grace Chariot and Black Death. They did say they were first team to sign up for the tourney, I believe. And it did say they're going to win the whole thing, so hopefully people enjoyed this quarterfinal. Looking forward to Tag versus YouTube Stars next.